Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Alison LaGrange coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Over the next few minutes, we bring you the top 40 stories from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual on Firstpost. Let's get started. Now we begin with India. The Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in New Delhi during his two-day visit. The two officials met for the 24th round of special representative-level talks on the boundary issue. Wang and Doval noted that last year's meeting between President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Kazan had given new direction to bilateral ties. He is also scheduled to meet with Prime Minister Modi later today. And moving to the U.S., Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House for a high-stakes talk on ending the war with Russia. In the meeting, joined by 7 European leaders, Trump pledged U.S. support for security guarantees to Kiev. Meanwhile, Zelensky said a deal could be finalized within 10 days, including a proposed $90 billion purchase of American weapons, and Trump later followed up with a 40-minute call to Putin. Meanwhile, Zelensky said he is prepared to meet Putin, though no date has been set. Speaking in Washington, Zelensky said Ukraine will never stop on the way to peace and confirmed that further trilateral discussions are being considered. President Trump also posted on social media that arrangements are being made for the meeting, where he will himself be present. And European leaders voiced strong support for peace following the high-level meeting in Washington with Trump and Zelensky. French President Emmanuel Macron said Ukraine's security is Europe's security, while EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen stressed ending the human cost of war. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz renewed his call for a ceasefire as a precondition for negotiations. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to accelerate his country's nuclear weapons program, calling US-South Korea military drills a provocation. His remarks came during an inspection of a warship being equipped with nuclear-capable systems as Seoul and Washington launched large-scale military exercises. And Taiwan's defense ministry said it detected 10 Chinese aircraft and 6 naval vessels near its territory, with 2 planes crossing the median line into its air defense zone. The activity follows a similar incident a day earlier when 6 aircraft and 5 vessels were recorded near Taiwan. Taipei said it monitored the situation and responded accordingly. Hamas says it has agreed to a new ceasefire proposal put forward by Qatar and Egypt as mediators work to prevent an Israeli assault on Gaza City. Israeli officials confirmed receiving the response but said their demands remain unchanged, including the release of hostages, Hamas disarmament, and security control of Gaza. And protesters demanding early elections in Serbia attacked the offices of the ruling SNS party in Belgrade. Demonstrations that began last year have escalated in recent days, with rioters targeting party offices in several cities. Initially sparked by demands for an investigation into a tragedy linked to corruption, the protests have grown into calls for early elections. And Marius Borg Høiby, the eldest son of Norway's crown princess, has been charged with 32 counts, including rape, violence, and threats. The Norwegian prosecutors said he faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted. Høiby, who has no royal title or official duties, has faced growing scrutiny after a series of arrests and allegations last year. The United Nations said that 383 aid workers were killed in 2024, the highest number ever recorded. The figure marked a 31% increase from the previous year, with most deaths occurring in Gaza and Sudan. The UN said most of the victims were local staff and condemned the lack of accountability, calling it a shameful indictment of international apathy. Hundreds of other aid workers were also wounded, kidnapped, or detained. And moving on to some climate news now. Mumbai woke up to intense showers on Tuesday, with more than 50 millimeters of rain falling in just 3 hours. The India Meteorological Department issued a red alert for the second straight day. Meanwhile, suburbs and South Mumbai face waterlogging, delayed trains and stranded vehicles. Flight operations at Mumbai airport were also disrupted. Schools and colleges remain closed, and officials warned that heavy rains are likely to continue until the 21st of August. And rain continues to create havoc in the northern part of Pakistan. Fresh torrential rains swept the region and killed at least 20 people on Monday. The deadly downpour struck in Khyber province, where villages were wiped out. Officials said over 350 had already died since last Thursday in the intense monsoon season. Meanwhile, over 12 villages were destroyed and at least 200 people remained missing amid heavy downpours. Rescue operations were halted as new floods destroyed makeshift tracks in the worst-hit Buno district. And Spain is experiencing a deadly wildfire that has burned at least 340,000 hectares this year. The blazes destroyed land equal to over 500,000 football fields, setting a national record. Fires also claimed at least 4 lives in Spain and 2 in neighboring Portugal in recent weeks. Officials said the wildfires were fueled by a third straight week of heatwave. Hurricane Erin battered Caribbean islands with...
Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
We're trying to bring down the current government in Syria.
Today, Firstpost has brought together geopolitical strategists from across the world. China is still the biggest security challenge. President De Silva, welcome to Firstpost. Welcome to Firstpost.
Detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you.
We throw a spotlight on global issues from an Indian perspective. We are trying to make our mark.
To this, Greta Thunberg. Activists sat on the road and used boats to block the port entrance, calling for an end to Norway's oil and gas industry. They demanded that politicians present a clear plan to phase out fossil fuels. Markets were little changed earlier today after Wall Street traded water, and US President Donald Trump held what he called a very good talk with Ukrainian and European leaders on ending the 3-year war. Japan's Nikkei share gauge has set a new intraday record high before heading lower. Meanwhile, the US dollar held on to gains from Monday, but Bitcoin slid 1%, Brent crude dropped 0.7%, and spot gold prices rose by 0.2%. And Air Canada flight attendants extended their strike into a 4th day as talks with the airline resumed under the supervision of a mediator. Hundreds of thousands of passengers had their summer flights cancelled, while the union refused to obey a federal labor board order to return to work, creating a stalemate between the airline workers and government authorities. Meanwhile, passengers were stranded at Toronto Pearson Airport, some sleeping in terminals, as others, labor groups also voiced their support. And Novo Nordisk announced that it was offering its diabetes drug to Ozempic for $499 per month to eligible cash-paying patients in the US through its own pharmacy and partners. Now, the move came as the company expanded direct-to-consumer sales, this amid competition from online teleheal firms and rival Eli Lilly. And Tesla started accepting orders for its new Model YL in China with a starting price of 339,000 yuan, or about $47,184. The move came as Tesla sought to refresh its lineup in the country amid rising competition. And this from local makers at a time when global demand for electronic vehicles has slowed. And the U.S. Federal Trade Commission sued ticket reseller Key Investment Group, accusing the company of evading purchase limits to buy thousands of tickets to live events, including Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, and reselling them at a markup. The FTC said the company, which operates ticket resale sites, including TotalTickets.com, had used thousands of Ticketmaster accounts using fake or purchased accounts. And Starbucks reportedly said that it would provide a 2% hike to all salaried employees in North America this year, as a part of CEO Brian Niccol's turnaround efforts. This came as the coffee chain cut some jobs, tightened dress codes, and incentivized executives to control costs while investing in reducing service wait times and enhancing the coffee house experience. The raise will apply to all corporate staff, workers in manufacturing and distribution, as well as store managers. And a new report has suggested that fast fashion retailer Shein Group has considered relocating its headquarters back to China to secure approval for its planned Hong Kong IPO. Singapore-headquartered Shein has reportedly consulted with lawyers on setting up a parent company in mainland China, but no decision has been finalized. Now, founded in China, Shein has previously sought listings in New York and London, but has reportedly failed to gain approval. And OpenAI launched a ChatGPT Go, an India-only subscription plan priced at 399 rupees, or about $4.57 per month, making it its most affordable offering yet. The plan allows users to send up to 10 times more messages and generate 10 times more images compared to the free version, while also providing faster response times. And OpenAI said that ChatGPT Go is designed for Indians seeking greater access to advanced capabilities. And a new report suggested that Apple has expanded iPhone production across 5 factories in India, including the recently opened plants as it moved to reduce reliance on China for US-bound models. The report said that the company was producing all 4 iPhone 17 models in India ahead of their debut next month, marking the first time that all new variations will ship from the South Asian country from the get-go. And SoftBank Group announced a $2 billion equity investment in Intel, making the Japanese tech giant one of the top 10 shareholders in the troubled US chipmaker. The deal comes as Intel struggles to regain its footing in the AI chip market following years of management challenges. Now, SoftBank will take an equity stake of just under 2% without seeking a board seat or committing to buy Intel chips. And moving on to sports news, and we start with cricket. Reports say that Mohammad Siraj is unlikely to be picked for India's T20 Asia Cup squad. India are expected to choose Jasprit Bumrah, Arshdeep Singh and Hardik Pandya as pace options. Either Harshit Rana or Prashid Krishna could be selected as the third specialist pacer. Even Mohammad Shami is reportedly not in contention. And Pakistan Cricket has announced their men's central contract list for 2025. Star batters Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam have been demoted from Category A to Category B. They were the only 2 batters in the top category last year. Their monthly salaries will now be reduced from $2,000 to $1,500. In football, Argentina have unveiled a 31-man squad for September qualifiers versus Venezuela and Ecuador. Lionel Messi returns alongside exciting youngsters like Echeverri, Varela and Mastantuono. The striker Jose Manuel Lopez received his first national team call-up, and Argentina already top the standings and have confirmed qualification for the 2026 World Cup. And Leeds beat Everton 1-0 after a controversial late penalty in the 84th minute. James Tarkowski was penalised for a handball, although replay showed his arm was by his side. VAR still upheld the decision, leaving Everton players stunned. Real Madrid's negotiations with Vinicius Jr. have stalled, according to reports. His camp wanted bonuses that could take his salary up to about $33 million per year. Madrid's final offer was around $22 million fixed without bonuses, which they feel is too little. Vinicius is currently contracted until June of 2027. And Tottenham captain Christian Romero has signed a new long-term contract with the club. He joined the club in 2021, and since then the Argentine defender has made 126 appearances. He was the man of the match in last season's Europa League final, helping Spurs lift the trophy. Lassana Diarra has restarted legal action against FIFA and the Belgian FA. He's demanding $76 million in damages over a blocked 2014 transfer to Charleroi. Now, the case was reopened after an EU court ruled that some FIFA transfer rules were illegal. Former France midfielder says that he waited for a settlement offer, but none came. And in tennis news, men's world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz lifted the Cincinnati Open title. His rival Jannik Sinner retired while trailing 0-5 in the first set. Sinner later revealed that he had been feeling unwell and tried to play through the illness. The win gives Alcaraz his first ever Cincinnati title. And over in the women's draw, women's world number 3 Iga Swiatek won the Cincinnati Open. The Pole defeated Jasmine Paolini 7-5, 6-4 in the final. Swiatek had never gone beyond the semis in her 6 previous appearances, and she has now won all 6 of her meetings with Paolini. And India will host its first franchise-based Archery Premier League in October in New Delhi. Stars like Deepika Kumari, Dheeraj Bomedevara, Jyoti Venom and Abhishek Verma will take part. 6 teams, 4 men plus 4 women, each will be formed via a draft and will include up to 2 foreign archers. And the league has backing from the World Archery and the Asian Archery Federations. And now into updates from the world of showbiz. Jasveen Shangar, 42, known as the Ketamine Queen, has agreed to plead guilty to supplying drugs that killed Friends actor Matthew Perry. She faces 5 charges, including distribution of ketamine resulting in death. Matthew Perry died in October of 2023 from acute ketamine effects. Sangha is one of 5 people accused of exploiting Perry's addiction, alongside 2 doctors, his assistant, and another supplier. And Taylor Swift released 2 limited edition vinyl versions of her upcoming album, The Life of a Showgirl, under the Shiny Bug collection. The variants are violet shimmer marbles and wintergreen and onyx marbles, and these sold out in less than an hour, despite being advertised as available for 48 hours. And Netflix's animated film K-pop Demon Hunters has achieved a rare milestone, with 3 songs from its soundtrack in the Billboard Hot 100's top 10. Golden by Hunter X peaked at number 1 last week and is now at number 2, while Your Idol holds number 4 and Soda Pop climbs to number 10. The film has become Netflix's most popular original animated release. Amazon Prime Video has confirmed that Fallout will return in December for its next season. The new season introduces the post-apocalyptic setting of the New Vegas adapted from the video games. And Ella Purnell and Walton Goggins reprise their roles, with Macaulay Culkin joining the cast. And Netflix has renewed Department Q after a successful debut season, starring Matthew Good as Detective Carl Mork. The show is based on Jussi Adler-Olsen's novels. Season 1 earned an 88% Rotten Tomatoes score and spent 6 weeks in Netflix's top 10. And that's all on the episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to Firstpost.